Hello, kindly people of YouTube. Punk Rock Fairy Princess here, and today we're back with another starkid musical. So today we're going to talk about Twisted, the untold story of a royal vizier, one of my absolute favorite starkid musicals. So starkid ran in 2013. The music is by A.J. Holmes, and the lyrics are by Kaylee McMahon. I'm not sure how to say her name, but yes. And the book is by Matt and Nick Lang, as well as Eric Con Gale. The story is basically a parody of Disney's Aladdin, except from the point of view of Jafar in a Wicked sort of way, like the musical Wicked. It basically tells the story from Jafar, the original bad guy's perspective, and basically tells everybody how Jafar was actually the good guy the whole time. I really, really love the songs in this musical. Like, they are amazing. This one also, I think, has, at least in my opinion, the best balance between, like, humor and, heartfelt, beautiful moments. This is the starkid musical that has made me cry almost every time I see it. There's this one scene that I will not get into right now because it's a spoiler, but that scene, every time, fucking waterworks, man. The costumes in the show are amazing, and they are designed by Saito, who does most of the costumes for starkid musicals, as well as Yonat Alshan, who I don't know if they've done any other costumes for starkid musicals. Anyway, but the costumes, they're like professional musical costumes. Like, they are really, really good, and just, yes, amazing. Because this musical is a parody of Disney Pixar movies, as well as having a lot of nods to the musical Wicked, which is, I believe, an inspiring force to this musical. So obviously there are a lot of references to Disney and Pixar throughout, which would take way too long to actually go through all of them. That's an idea for a future video. But yes, I believe that would be the end of the non-spoilery section of this video. So, the obligatory, if you haven't seen it, go watch it now and not continue. Anyway, you know the drill, okay? Just beware, beyond this point, there will be spoilers. Okay, right, so let us start with the cast of characters. Jafar is played by Dylan, and it's been such a long time since Dylan has been in a starkid musical, and his voice is just so amazing. It was a pleasure to once again see Dylan in a starkid musical. It was just, yes, his voice is beautiful, his acting is great. The princess, who is Jasmine, but is referred to just as the princess throughout this musical because it's a parody and they obviously didn't want to get, copyrighted and stuff. So, the princess is played by Rachel Soglin, and I believe this is the first starkid musical that Rachel was in, and she's phenomenal. I mean, just, yes. Aladdin is played by Jeff Blim, and I'm pretty sure they could not have gotten a better person to play that role, because holy shit, does he do it well? Because in the beginning he's like a hammy type villain, right? Am I using that word correctly? I think I am. He's funny, he's ridiculous, he's absurd. And then he isn't. And then it's like, you're like, oh shit, this guy's genuinely kind of scary. Because his transition from being like a funny villain to being like a threatening, scary villain is glorious, and I loved it. And then the whole split personality scene, oh my gosh.
You're the guy who killed my parents. Where you been, man? In your reflection.
I remember the first time watching this, it was probably like around midnight. I was in my bed watching it on my phone, and the scenes were happening, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And like, genuinely kind of scared. And it was so good. It was so good. I mentioned this in my The Guy Who Like Musicals video, but like how much I loved like the scene where Paul like becomes infected because it's like a split personality like mental coming apart. The reason that I knew that I liked those types of scenes was because of this scene in this musical, because it was just so good. It was so good. It was so good. It was amazing. Meredith Stepien plays Shahrazad, who is Jafar's wife, and she is like, it's Meredith, right? She's charming and she has a beautiful voice, and just yes. Joe Walker plays the Royal Vizier and Prince Ahmed, continuing Joe Walker's tradition of never actually using his real voice when he plays characters. But yeah, Prince Ahmed is absurd and ridiculous and a little sympathetic, but not really. Royal Vizier is like a smaller role. He's only in like a couple scenes, but he is memorable. Very memorable. Nic Cage, I'm pretty sure the only Stark musical he actually performs in. He wrote the music for Holy Musical Batman, and he was part of Jim and the Povolos and wrote some music for them. But anyway, he plays the Sultan, the Jinn, and he is honestly legendary in these roles. Like, oh my goodness. The Sultan is ridiculous, and the Jinn is great. Obviously, no one can compare to Robin Williams as the genie in Aladdin, but Nic Cage does a darn good job. Obviously, because it's the genie, right? He has a lot of references to a lot of different things, most of which I probably didn't even get. Another future video. Yeah, he's great. He's great. Okay. Jim Povolo plays the captain of the guard, and his comedic deadpan is amazing. I freaking love Jim Povolo. He is so great. He's very funny. All you found Jafar. Lauren Lopez plays the monkey, Abu, who's not named Abu in this musical, as well as a bunch of other smaller characters in the ensemble. And I mean, she's great. She is great. Jamielynn Media plays the Sea Witch in the number Twisted, and she is amazing. I mean, it's Jamie, so yes. Denise Donovan plays very small characters, the largest of which is probably the bird, who is like Iago in like the movie. This musical marks Robert Mannion's debut on the starkid stage. He plays Gaston in the musical number Twisted, as well as Abdul and Bafool, twin brothers who are soldiers. He does some very emotional bits, and it's really good. Like his death as Bafool, and then like Abdul mourning Bafool's death. It's so good. Like he like actually like cries, sheds tears on stage. I know there's a clip from some live stream somewhere where Jeff and Robert are talking about it. Anyway, so yes, Robert, very cool. He's great. Alex Paul, this was her first show with Starkid. She hasn't been in any Starkid shows since. She plays like the cheerful girl, I think is her official name in the first number, and she's great. She's really great. She is very cheerful. She fits the role very well. That was probably a less comprehensible explanation of the cast, but I'll get more into the songs because the songs are amazing. The opening number is Dream a Little Harder, which kind of reflects No One Mourns the Wicked, because in Wicked it has the cheerful Glinda, and then this one it's Alex Paul's character, the cheerful woman. There are a ton of references to Disney movies. It is great. Then we have I Steal Everything, which is the introduction song to Aladdin. It parodies One Jump Ahead from the movie, and Aladdin is such a dick. It's great. It's very funny. Everything and More is our introduction song to Jasmine. It's the classic I Want song, except it's a parody. It reflects a lot of Part of Your World from Ariel, and basically it's just Jasmine singing like, I want adventure and amazing stuff, but also I want to keep the luxuries that I have as a princess, even though it's stifling to be a princess, but like, there's some nice stuff that comes with it too, right? It's great. Rachel Suckland is amazing, and just yes. Okay. Sands of Time / Golden Rule. Basically, Jafar goes back to when he was a young, optimistic person who was going to start working at the palace, and he's just like, yeah. Right, and then there is a dark reprise, y'all. I freaking love dark reprises. One of my favorite things in musicals. Anyway, there's a dark reprise of The Golden Rule where young Jafar meets the other royal viziers, and they're just like, we're in it for the money. And he's just like, well, shit. that was not my intention in becoming a political individual. Anyway, so it's instead of Follow the Golden Rule, it's Follow the Gold and Rule, which is some clever songwriting. I don't know a lot about songwriting, but it seems very clever to me. 1001 Nights is the beautiful love song between Shahrazad and Jafar, and it's adorable and lovely. I mean, Dylan's voice, Meredith's voice, just, yes. And then we have If I Believed, which is the song that makes me cry every single time I see this musical, like every single time. It's just...
But wishes are dreams, and dreams are pretend. So science and reason win out in the end. Science says you're dead and gone forever. Reason says I'm talking to the air.
I mean, first of all, Dylan cries in the scene, so there's that. And also just... The hopelessness, it's so beautiful and sad and tragic, and it gets me every single time. Orphaned at 33 is sung by Aladdin to Jasmine, when he's just like, I was living with my parents till I was 33, and then they died under some suspicious circumstances, I might add. And now I'm a 33-year-old orphan, and I don't know how to do anything, so that's why I'm a thief. And then Jasmine's like, oh my goodness, you poor man. I might add that she is 16 and he's 33, and that is addressed numerous times, which I'm very happy about, because it's very fucking creepy. The song is hilarious and great. Then we have the end of Act 1 song. I love end of Act 1 songs, because that's when all, like, the storylines mesh together, and it's just, yes. It's called Happy Ending. Like, Jafar is saying about how he'll save the kingdom from its socioeconomic inequality, as well as the possible attack from Prince Ahmed, because in this musical that is slightly more realistic than the original movie, the princess sicking her tiger upon Prince Ahmed has political consequences. Anyway, and then Jasmine is saying about how she hopes Aladdin has not been executed, because that would put a bit of a damper on their love story. And Aladdin is saying about how he wants to sleep with Jasmine. He is a truly lovely fellow. Very charming. Second act begins with No One Remembers Ahmed. And the song is iconic because it's amazing. It ends with a chorus of soldiers singing Tiger Fucker in the background of Prince Ahmed, and it's great. I want to have that last bit as my ringtone, but then also I always have my ringtone on, like, I always have my phone on silent, so yes. Also, I would not want that going off while my parents are in the room, because that would be an uncomfortable thing to explain. Anyway, then we have Sheep's Clothing, or A Song is a Dick in Sheep's Clothing. I don't know what the actual title is, because it's not, like, on the soundtrack. It's one of those, like, little starkid songs that, you know, is sung within the, you know, it's like Duck is Lord in Firebringer, and like the reprise of Life in Starship, right? The little songs, although this one is one of the more like the funny little songs, like Duck is Lord. Anyway, yes. Anyway, it's good, it's funny. I heard on the live stream that they were thinking of maybe, like Nick mentioned, maybe they were gonna like record all those like little mini songs of Starkid musicals, which would be great. That would be very cool. Then we have Take Off Your Clothes, which is obviously a bit of a parody of what is that song? The one on the magic carpet. It's been so long since I saw the movie Aladdin. A Whole New World, that's what it's called. Which is a bit of a parody of A Whole New World from Aladdin, except in this case, Aladdin just wants to sleep with Jasmine, and he uses subliminal messaging. And throughout the song, there's a lot of references to, you know how like in Disney and Pixar movies, there's always those little things that everyone's just like, ooh, is that like a sexual reference? Like SFX in The Lion King, or the priest in Little Mermaid, where they thought he like had a boner, but it was just like just his knees. Oh, and the castle, the palace under like the Atlantis is it Atlantis? I don't know. The Mermaid Palace in The Little Mermaid, how like the one tower kind of looked like a dick. Yes, anyway, so they talk about that throughout. And then we have the title number, Twisted. And this, I love, first of all, the writing in the song is great. Like, I mean...
The question then is whether 'tis nobler in the mind to be well liked but ineffectual, or moral but maligned.
I mean, just the poetry, I'm going all English major right now, but seriously, the songwriting in this song is absolutely glorious. Okay, there's also cameos from a ton of Disney villains, and it's great. Like I said, Jamielynn Media is Ursula. She's amazing. And Nic Cage is Scar. I don't think I mentioned that before. Anyway, he's great. Robert Mannion is Gaston, and it's glorious. Oh yeah, Lauren Lopez plays Maleficent. I think it's Alex Paul playing Captain Hook. 1 second, let's double check that. Yes, it is Alex Paul. Anyway, and then the end, Denise Donovan comes out as Cruella de Vil, and everyone's just like, okay, no, but you were legit evil. Like, we all had excuses, you just wanted to kill puppies and make a coat. Like, you're actually evil. Which I thought was great. I love how, like, we excuse a lot of things, but as soon as you get to, like, animal cruelty, we're all like, okay, no. I can excuse a lot of things, but not people being mean to dogs. It's a bit weird of like how our society does that. Anyway, so that song is amazing. It's the 11 o'clock number. It's where Jafar is like, fuck it, I don't care what anyone thinks of me, how I'm perceived for the rest of history. I'm gonna do the right thing, and then we're all just like, oh my goodness, yes. At least that's me. Right, and then we have The Power in Me, which is the one that I don't quite cry at, but I definitely tear up. I love the dynamic between Jafar and the princess, because you figure out at the end that Jafar is actually the princess's father, because what happens is he and Shahrazad are married, and Shahrazad is pregnant, and then the Sultan is just like, your wife is very pretty, I need her, and then she gets taken into his harem, and then she dies in childbirth, and because no one questions coincidences, they're just like, oh yes, and the princess was born the same day. And then to the end, they're just like, oh, shit. So anyway, the princess is actually Jafar's daughter. They have a beautiful dynamic. Even before they figure it out, it's still kind of like a father-daughter type thing, and it's adorable and beautiful. And then The Power in Me is like, because Jafar has to go because he turns himself into a genie. It's like the same plot generally as Aladdin, but like, not. Anyway, The Power in Me is beautiful. And the one line, "You're a diamond in the rough." The way Rachel's voice like breaks at the end, it's like, it's, I'm a sucker for that kind of thing, okay? And then we have the finale, which is like a reprise of 1001 Nights. Shahrazad and Jafar are reunited inside the lamp, and it's beautiful and lovely, and just it makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. It's so good. Also, Jafar and Shahrazad's relationship is adorable. It's kind of quick, like it happens throughout a song. They meet and then are married, but clearly it's like one of those montage type songs, like they're just singing about shit, and then they meet in the palace and he helps her because her ear just got cut off, which is kind of just forgotten after a little while, and then they're singing about the stories and shit, and I'm a romantic sucker, so just yes. I mean, this musical comments a lot on how like ridiculous Disney movies can be. Like the line in Dream a Little Harder where Alex Paul's character says, but if you're good and you're attractive, no need to be proactive because good things will just happen to you. I mean, in like the end credits, there's a version of 1001 Nights sung by Brittany Coleman and Carlos Valdez. And it's amazing. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Like how Disney movies always have, you know, like the pop song version of the title, like one of the more important, one of like the big numbers of the movies, right? Yes. Anyway, their voices are just so good. They're just so good. In case you didn't know, Carlos Valdez. I don't think I've mentioned this before. Carlos Valdez. He's the guy who plays Cisco on The Flash, right? Yeah. Anyway, he was like a part of StarKid, like way at the beginning. Like if you look carefully at a Very Potter Musical, you can see him. He plays bass for that one. You can kind of see him like in the back of the stage, in stage left. Anyway, and also I think he wrote some of the music for Me and My Dick. I'm not sure. Anyway, yes. So when I found out, I was like, holy shit. Anyway, so StarKid trivia. I definitely have more I want to say about this musical, but I cannot think of anything at this particular moment in time. So we're just gonna end it here. If I had to make a list of my favorite StarKid musicals, this one would definitely be near the top. I know I've been like, of every single StarKid musical, it's been like, this is one of my favorites because they're all my favorites. But this is definitely one of my absolute favorites. So I am not entirely indecisive, only mostly. Right. I know this video is later than usual. I had an exam on Tuesday that I had to study for. Today is Tuesday. I had it this morning. I felt kind of like shit today, honestly. I wasn't gonna film a video, but here we are anyway. Because I wanted to get something out. Anyway, so thank you for watching. I will see y'all later. Bye!